Let's speak to Bradley Cowdroy, who is from Bournemouth, and he's also in his 20s. He captained the England under-16s and the under-21s, and he's twice Dorset Open champion. And Bradley is here. What a talent I'm sat with. Hello, Bradley.
Good afternoon, Lucy.
Hello.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah, so good to be with you. So much success already, which is great. Let me ask your thoughts on Wu Yizar, who, I mean, I'm sure you know his story because he moved to Sheffield in one room with his father. He left his ill mother in China. I mean, that's a whole another level of sacrifice. Is that what you need to do to become world champion?
Definitely. I think one thing that's great about sport is you get so many different stories with people from different backgrounds that, you know, they can go on a journey, they can pick up a cue, you know, put football boots on, that kind of thing, and before you know it, they're world champion or playing in the Premier League, that kind of thing. Yeah, I've spoken about it before, but the sacrifice is a lot. But in Wu's case, I think what's really exciting is, as far as snooker goes, we're in a generation where him and a lot of the other Chinese players coming through, and some of the English players too, there's so much exciting play. It's a modern era of attacking snooker, which hopefully is great to watch as well.
Yeah, is it exciting? Because I mean, I suppose traditionally with snooker, it's always been you wear that suit, you know, it's, I don't know, it doesn't look very cool and, you know, happening, you know, but I guess you guys might be changing that.
I think there are a lot of preconceptions from people who don't necessarily, I guess, live and breathe it, and they only see it on the TV.
Okay, that's me. I'm giving you all the preconceptions. That's great. You school me. You tell me, Bradley.
Yeah, but I think what's really, really important is for us to bring it into the sort of 21st century, the modern way of playing. Snooker, I think the sort of myth that it is sort of like seen as a pub game or a game that you can, you know, just go on for hours and hours and it can be a bit of a bore. The generation of players these days that you'll see in a lot of the tournaments throughout the year, they play attacking snooker, aggressive snooker, and the quality and the standard is as good as it's ever been. So, yeah, it is great to watch.
Yeah. Why do you love it? What is it about it that really gets you going?
Well, I first started watching it as probably a 2 or 3 year old. I think one of the first photographs I can remember my family having of me as a baby was me in a cot in front of the TV when Peter Ebdon won the World Championship in 2002. So it was clearly sort of love from first sight. But no, I was just watching it on TV as a child, sort of obsessed with the colours and trying to work out the point scores and everything like that as a young lad, and then got into it. After then, first played on a full-size table as a 7-year-old, and I just loved the sort of challenge.
Did it look big for you when you were a little 7? It's a massive table.
I had to work my way up slowly. So when I was 3, we had sort of
stool.
Well, yeah. When I was 3, we had a tiny sort of shoebox-sized table with almost like pencils for cues. And then when I got a little bit older, it's sort of, you know, half table football table with the snooker underneath, and then, like I say, starting. Took my first steps in sort of a proper snooker club, Green Bay's in Bournemouth, when I was 7.
Okay.
So,
is that where
you work your way up.
Is that where you hang out? Like, tell me what you give up and what you do to get you where you want to get to.
Yeah, so I have a part-time job on the side as a tutor as well. I work with sort of young children, help them with maths and English, which is great. So I do that in sort of afternoons throughout the week, and then I've got my mornings and evenings and weekends to sort of practice as much as I can, get myself ready for big tournaments throughout the season. And compete there, really, yeah.
We've been chatting about success today, actually, and what that looks like for everyone. I mean, and you want to have big dreams, don't you? But how big do you dream? What does success look like for you, Bradley?
I think there are a couple of different ways to measure it. I think it's a slippery slope because there's the sort of extrinsic, I guess, motivation of going down the path where success is only measured by your results. And obviously, in any sort of walk of life, whether it's a sporting thing or your career, obviously you're trying to do things to advance yourself as much as you can. But the reality is, especially for something like snooker, where, you know, every tournament we play each weekend or each month, there is only one person that comes away from that tournament on that car ride home feeling good about themselves, if you're just judging it by results. So I think you have to take it with a pinch of salt a lot of the time. Of course, I'm trying to get on the tour one day, so I guess that is my extrinsic motivation to keep going, you know, trying to push my results on as far as I can. But aside from that, the bottom line is you have to enjoy what you're doing. I did quite a lot of sports psychology before one of our big tournaments at the start of the year, focusing on sort of the different types of motivation. And there is such a big focus on how taking the pressure off your mind in terms of the result and focusing on the enjoyment and sort of why you're doing it in the first place, that can actually really sort of springboard your results. So that's really important for me. I also want, away from sort of selfish side of things, I want to go and get my World Snooker coaching badges at some point, sort of put back into the game what it's given me. I want to sort of find young players in the area to, help them and give them the kind of experience, or give them the chance to have the kind of experiences that I had. So I'd love to get into the coaching side as well, and just, do whatever I can and do whatever we can to try and get as many young players into the sport as possible.
Yeah, it's a difficult question to answer that, isn't it? Because obviously you'd like to be, you see the likes of Wu Yiza, we were chatting about him, that final frame that he came through to win the World Snooker Championships. I mean, he obviously didn't get inside his head, is what I saw at that point. He didn't, and like you said, to be able to relax. On a lesser note, I remember my son, who's had a bit of a dip in football, and the coach said to him, just go out there and play. You know how you used to play in the park when you were 7? Go out there and do that.
Exactly.
And I guess, but being able to do that in the moment, how do you do that? You're odd on for the pink, you've got to score this to get to the next thing or whatever, How do you not shake or get nervous or... get outside your head?
Well, first of all, I need to make very clear that there have been many situations in my junior career where that has been a problem, and it isn't easy to get over that pressure. I think you've got to just trust the practice you put in, and like I say, that enjoyment. If you can simplify things in your head as much as you possibly can, particularly for sort of such a mentally demanding and sort of physically static sport like snooker, where at the top level it's completely silent, all eyes are on you, so you have to just try and simplify as much as you possibly can and just take each sort of moment for what it is.
Are you a cool guy? Is that what you need? Do you need to have a cool head?
I think you have to be. It's not the kind of sport where you can get away with smashing your cue. Tennis players, they can smash a racket, or footballers, you've got the means. You've got the means.
The McEnroe.
Well,
of snooker.
I think that would be frowned upon. But other sports you've got the means to sort of release when you're feeling that frustration. But snooker, you have to keep it all in. So again, it's just finding mental techniques to sort of keep yourself under wraps at the right times.
Do that. So in Bournemouth, where you train, Bradley Cowdroy, are you the man? Do you walk in there and they're like, there's Bradley? And how are you with that?
That's for other people to say, not me.
Aren't you?
I'm far from the star. Like you said, I've managed to win a couple of county titles, and I'd had a good back end of my junior career. But there are also a lot of fantastic other players out there at my age as well. One of the lads I practice with every couple of weeks from Southampton, Oliver Sykes, he was the national junior #1 for a few years, and he's just got on the pro tour for this coming season. So I've got some brilliant sort of friends / rivals around me, so we sort of keep each other humble and sort of egg each other on for all of our different tournaments.
Yeah, well listen, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Really nice to speak to you, find out a bit about you and your love of snooker. All right, Bradley, thank you very much. There we go, young snooker player Bradley Cowdroy from Bournemouth, chatting to us here on BBC Radio Solent.